Greetings, everybody. We're here this evening with Nikolay Atanasov of the thrash speed metal band Prophecy, formerly of Agent Steele fame. And we're going to chat a little about him, about guitaring, about Prophecy, what's happening there. And yeah, well, welcome to the channel, Nikolay.
Thank you.
How you been doing?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. It's nice to have you. How you been doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Happy that the situation in the world in regards to coronavirus is getting better and better.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. That makes me happy.
Were you able to use that time? Was it for you just a time of nothing more, or did you just write music and practice? Or
yeah, I think mostly I writing music and also practicing, and then the pandemic in general resulted in many canceled shows, which sucked, and I hated that part. And
but that's what most musicians I speak to, they said it was a terrible time. I don't know, did you get any support in Denmark as an artist?
You could have done that, but I did not really take advantage of that. I think I missed out on it, as in like deadlines and all. But speaking of it, there was something like that being offered to artists.
Okay. Yeah, because here in Germany, I think there was something as well, but then the artists had to pay it back quite quickly. So a lot of artists were very happy that they didn't sign up for it. Suddenly the state goes, well, So I was amazed to look at, the official heavy metal Bible, to see that you guys did your first demo in 2016 already. I wasn't aware that you were around there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I started the band a while back, and that's where the first recordings are from.
Awesome. Wow. So well, I can see a couple of singles and a full length you did in 2018. Twisted Reality and Mental Punishment, the second full length, I wasn't able to get a hold of, but I did see the cover art and all that. So, but you said that will be available soon.
Yeah, it should be available soon, like all the digital streaming platforms, and Twisted Reality on the other hand is also currently available on all the digital platforms, and you can also get it on CD. I don't know.
And that will be from Bandcamp, eh?
Yeah, you can also available on Bandcamp, and you can get the CD there, or you can just contact the band via Facebook. There is or however one wants to approach.
Yeah, it's always a direct contact to the band. That's quite nice, eh? Because then it's money in your pocket. And because I see you're on Metal Domination Records as well, for people that will go the other route or already have had experiences there, so that's fine. So I've listened to your material thus far. For me, it's such a nice mix of thrash metal. There are some elements of speed metal in there, from my listening point of view at least. And it's really nice and old school.
Right, thank you. Was that Twisted Reality you were referring to? Or
that's Twisted Reality, yeah.
Okay, because it froze a bit. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it, and
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I like old school, and there is a lot of like, this is basically because I'm a big thrash metal fan. Specifically, I like a lot of stuff, like basically all this stuff, but I really love like American thrash metal, Bay Area thrash metal, and yeah, even the bands that people would consider more underground, like Forbidden. I love those guys with Forbidden Evil and Twisted Into Form, both great records. And
That's an amazing record.
yeah, Heathen, another great band, I think.
I thought I heard some Heathen out on Twisted Reality, so
right, yeah,
it must have been the vocals and the arrangement. So yeah, it felt a little bit like that. But
yeah,
obviously,
I've heard that before as well.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you've definitely got your own style as well, and I think fans of old school thrash with a strong dose of speed metal in there, you can go no wrong on this one. I'd love to do a review on Twisted Reality and obviously Mental Punishment once it's freely available, and that would be awesome. Yeah, which leads me to my next question. I'm not going to go into all the bands you've got listed, X bands. But one particular band that could be quite interesting for the audience is Agent Steele,
right?
And, with whom you've played for a while. How did that come about? How did that happen?
Yeah, well, the band had announced at a reunion that they were doing in like 2019, and yeah, then they did that Keep It True show, and they had quite some dates. Like it was a full tour, and there was a date in Denmark. It was a festival here, and yeah, they needed there was a guitarist needed, and yeah, I was recommended by someone who I'm not even sure who it was anymore. But yeah, we got in contact. We started talking. I sent them some recordings, and it basically it went from there.
Okay. Was there anyone still original in the band except for John Cyrus?
At first, we had Bill Simmons on and on the other guitar, who used to play with John back in the day. I think it was, if I remember correctly, this might be, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's when agents, like an early form of Agent Steele before it was called Agent Steele. I think it was called, yeah, they changed up a few names. It was Scepter is one. That's where actually John played guitar, and there was another singer. Yeah. I don't remember all the details, but something like that.
So that must have been quite exciting. I mean, wow! And then it probably went very fast that you had to like learn all the songs and go for it. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I've known about the band and been a fan of the band for a long time. So yeah, funny enough, I already knew a good part of the songs. I mean, I did have to sit down and get some parts and even some songs. Some of the songs I never had played, but stuff like Agents of Steel, Unstoppable Force, Rager, those songs I knew most of, at least, prior to even ever knowing that I'll be a part of the band.
Yeah. Okay. We had a bit of a freeze, but I got everything.
Okay.
Okay. So now that that's done, we're not going to go too deep into that. We both have a bit of a experience there. Anyway, it was a bit troublesome, but now you're focusing everything on Prophecy, it seems, or do you have any other irons in the fire?
Yeah, I mean, I got a few projects. There is, of course, Prophecy, which we'll see what we do there. Hopefully play some shows soon with new line. There will be a new lineup, and maybe do another record. Okay. But nothing is haven't made any plans, like fixed plans yet. And I also got this thing called Avengers Reign, which
Okay.
there's also going to be some new stuff released at some point. Uh, uh, it's a bit more similar to Agent Steel in terms of style, which would mean more US power metal sound, which I'm also a big fan of, and then of course the speed metal elements and thrash metal elements are in there all over the
Yeah.
place. But yeah, maybe if I have to, if I have to describe it with in similarity with other bands, maybe stuff like Hellstar,
Okay.
yeah, Jack Panzer, maybe stuff like that.
No.
These are the ones that come to mind currently. Sanctuary, stuff like
Nice.
that. Yeah, and then I joined this American band called Attica, which is a band that started out in the early '90s, or maybe I believe early '90s. I've been good friends with the singer Rob, and he's a great guy. And at some point, we've been talking about working together for a long time, and then at some point, we just said, "Let's do it." So we did it,
Nice.
and we are working on new material. We have a very cool lineup together, and very cool material too. We are currently at the demo stage, but it is sounding pretty cool, and it's again it's heavy metal slash power metal, but again on the US power metal side. And the band is out of Florida. They have two records they released back in the day, and self-titled, and When Heroes Fall is the second one, is and then there was a new one from last year, I think, called Meadowlands. And I guess we'll be looking at a next year release for the new one. I think so.
But you're keeping that as a purely studio project, or will you be doing?
Attica, no, Attica is gonna play live.
Okay.
I cannot say for sure whether it's gonna be in the States first or in Europe first. I mean, we would love to do to go all over the place, play everywhere. But we'll see where the first concerts will be at. I can't wait. And
I can imagine.
yeah, so I am you could say I'm a full time member of this band. So and it's a it's a fully functioning band. It's not just a studio project. And it's quite a lot of stuff. There's more. I'm doing currently, at least, is more of a studio project. It's this band called Day 40. It's some guys who are also Bulgarians, but been living in England for a long time. And I joined as a lead guitarist, so I'm only contributing the lead guitar parts, and then the other guitarist, he did all the writing. He does the rhythm guitar tracking. Basically he does everything, and with the other guys there, they put it together, and then I just add lead guitars. So I add solos to the stuff, and
Okay.
it's a bit more modern actually than the other stuff that I'm doing, and maybe it's the most modern stuff I've done, but it's in a good way, like lower tuning and 7 string guitars, and I would in my mind what pops is Nevermore, which is
Okay. Okay. So more modern.
I love Nevermore. I think that's a great band, and yeah,
Warrell Dane, rest in peace.
great guy. I never never met him actually, never talked to him, but to me, he's one of the best heavy metal singers in general.
Yeah.
I love Sanctuary. I love Nevermore. I love his solo stuff. I love the guy. I got to see him a few months before he passed. Yeah. Unfortunately, we never met, but I got to see him with Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I only saw him once.
Yeah, but it was scary to see. I think some of the last photos I saw of him, he looked really bad.
Yeah, I remember.
Not good health. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pity.
He died in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, very sad.
It's the same with Metal Church singer Mike Howie. What a loss, and
yeah,
it's a pity. I mean, they were going quite strong again, and Metal Church was back, and then suddenly you hear that. So I guess you never know what's going on behind the scenes.
No,
tragic.
you really don't. And yeah, it's very sad. I mean, another great singer. Another. I would like to include Metal Church as one of these. It's also, in my opinion, a thrash band, but I would put them in this U.S. power metal category as well.
Totally.
Definitely, the stuff that I mentioned has a similarity to this band as well, as I'm a big fan, and yeah, very sad with Mike Howie, incredibly sad. Yeah, and but apart from the ones I already mentioned, I think I'm not. I think I'm not forgetting anything.
You're getting one thing. This is where I extend thanks to you for the contributing some leads on my old school death metal project, Overlord, which that was stunning to have a bit of more virtuoso style guitar solos.
I'm happy that it was a pleasure. I love doing it, and I'm happy you loved the result.
Totally.
That's very important to me, and I had fun. It's great stuff. I think people are gonna like it. I mean, if one likes old school death metal like Death and Cancer and
that was the goal.
There's a lot of stuff in there, DSI, and really a lot of influences, really.
So, interesting question that I ask most musicians is, what was your pivotal moment? What was the trigger point in your life that I don't know what you've been listening to before, as you in school, but what changed it for you? What drove you towards harder music?
Right. Well, I mean, I've always since I can remember, I've been liking rock music and heavy metal music. My parents would listen to some of that stuff, like, for example, Metallica. That's what comes to mind. Metallica would be one of the first heavy metal I've heard, and that will be like stuff from Kill 'Em All, the first 4 or 5 albums, different stuff from those, and I always loved that stuff, and and in addition to that, I've always been interested in specifically the guitar sound and the guitar parts and in the songs, and then later on at a point when I became more interested, and then I got into more bands. Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath. Big fan as a kid, still big fan.
Obviously.
And I was a fan of all the guitar heroes, all the great guys. As I mentioned, Tony Iommi and all the Iron Maiden guys and Metallica guys, and from Metallica I found out, I guess, about Megadeth probably, and of course Dave Mustaine, big fan, and and then also from Black Sabbath. I became
Aussie.
still a big Aussie fan and a big Randy Rhoads fan.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that would answer my next question. I was about to ask your favorite Aussie guitarist. That would be Randy then.
I think, yeah, it has to be Randy. I mean, yeah, it has to be Randy, just because Randy was amazing.
Wow.
I don't think Aussie never had a bad guitarist.
My favorite is Jake Lee, but it
Yeah,
must
I love. Yeah, for me, it would be very difficult if I have to rank my favorites. Then I guess number one would be Randy Rhoads. But then I'll have to choose where to put Jake Lee and where to put Zach Wild, and that I don't know. It's
very hard.
Yeah, both really great guitar players and great style and great solos. Amazing.
I always thought Jake was very underrated.
Yeah, I think he is.
And I love his style. I thought he became even more. He showed his own style more on the Badlands records. You know, that he brought out Eric Singer and those guys. That wow, amazing, and also very underrated records. It's a pity
that's an underrated band in general.
They were fantastic. They were probably one of the best bands to come out of the 80s. Yeah. So, did you go straight to electric guitar, or did you have an acoustic at first?
No, I got an acoustic first, but then I mean, I always wanted to get on electric. I wanted to get on electric from the start. Like now, going back, I don't even know when I got acoustic in the first place. I haven't had my first was like a classical guitar.
Okay.
And then I was bugging my parents to get me an electric guitar, so they had no other choice, of course, and they got me an electric guitar soon after. So yeah,
that's the way.
Right.
I was also stuck with an acoustic, and that didn't last very long. So that it wasn't the same sound, hey?
Not at all.
I was always saying, arguing with my parents. I said, "Yeah, but listen to this. Listen to Put on Ride the Lightning." It's like that, and little did I know that's studio. You know, that's probably layering 4 tracks or something to get that sound. So when I got my first amp, I was like, hold on, it still doesn't sound like on record, you know?
Right.
So multi-tracking, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, it would be fantastic to see you guys over here in Germany at some point. Are there any live opportunities on the horizon, or is that still open?
So far, like I only got news about one live opportunity, and I'm not gonna say too much about it because nothing's been announced or anything. And but it's not Prophecy, or it's not any of the bands that we talked about. And they want to do it's not gonna be in Europe either. But it's gonna be a tour, and I was invited to be the lead guitarist on that tour, and of course I accepted because the guys are really cool, and
awesome.
The band is really cool, music is really cool, so and that's gonna be next year.
Okay.
Around April somewhere.
Yeah, because what I think would be fantastic for you guys if you could get an opening slot with a more well-known thrash band, you know, to come through here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm hoping to in the remainder of this year or next year at latest to do some shows with Prophecy as well, and it would be great to open up for some thrash bands, as you say, some better known acts that are touring.
Absolutely. Are you? How do you see the today's technology? I mean, so much is happening with it's always like a double-edged sword, you know. The technology these days allows us to record basically at home, you know, and send it away for mixing or mix it yourself, and then there's people that say, well, the old analog was way better, being in a studio and actually recording in a studio and having that whole, you know, live takes. And what is it like for you?
Yeah. Well, I think both have their pros and cons. I think analog and digital. I don't have access to analog. I have friends who have. At least I can think of a friend who has a studio and he's only doing analog, and it's a cool way of recording music. And many of our favorite records are recorded that way and sound that way. So it is something special. And then digital, yeah, I have nothing against it. And I think it's really a blessing that nowadays it's quite easy to set up an own studio, get your setup, and be able to record in high quality. Yeah, honestly, the only thing I don't like is about digital. The digital is when, for example, if we're talking guitar, yeah, I guess when guys are, I guess it's called quantizing the guitar solos, for example, or like, you know, editing too much. That's in general, I try to keep it natural.
Yeah, yeah. With that, you mean them playing sequences?
Yeah, it's more of a, yeah, I guess it's more of a, yeah, you know, basically editing the certain parts a lot rhythmically to a point where it becomes obvious that it was edited.
Okay.
Because it sounds strange. It doesn't sound human. It sounds like you go on a Guitar Pro 5 and you put something in there and you play that, except with a better sound quality and get better sound. But it sounds like a robot is playing it. That's what I don't like, and that's something you couldn't do in the analog era.
Yes, absolutely.
And also another advantage of the analog era was that you really had to be very, very tight in order to make a good take that will make it on the record. And this means that you're getting better as you go, and yeah, there's no shortcuts and no being lazy. You gotta work hard, and I like that.
No, definitely. No, it made for a different.
And now, right now, the digital era is making us a bit more. I mean, it definitely is making us more lazy.
Yeah, but you can also hear it in new albums. I mean, listen to the latest Exodus. It's a different sound than they had on Fabulous Disaster or Bonded. You know, that rawness it's very clinical and very.
Right.
For me, it sounds thinner. There's not that thick crunchy on the guitars. It's very, but that's my opinion. So.
Right.
So anyway, where were we? Yeah, studio sound and technology. It's really changed quite a lot, and for pros and cons, and obviously everyone has their format of choice. But then again, it's also so interesting if you think about it. Then going into a studio with a just from the proportions, you go into a studio with a big desk, all that, to have an MP3 that goes through a small device with earphones, and you know, it's almost like wow.
Yeah, it's strange and funny, but also very it's cool, and it's a cool atmosphere in the studio. I mean, they obviously like even nowadays and with digital, you can recreate, I think, easily, as long as you're in a studio with a big consoles and everything, it's at least somewhat recreatable, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. It's also amp miking and all that stuff. If you really take the time to mic amps properly, and you can get very close to that really warm sound.
Right.
I just feel some guitars on new releases, it sounds very. The closest I can describe it is the guitars sound like they went straight line out into disc. You know, It has that digital rasp to it. It's very. I can't put my finger on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I know what you're talking about, and yeah, I like natural sounding guitars.
Yeah, and that listening to your first full length, I mean, that definitely has a very organic sound. So, which is, I think there are also a lot of bands out there now that have a really organic, almost like a practice room sound, but like so punchy.
Right.
An album I listened to the other day was the first full length by Necromantheon. I think they're from Kolbotn, Norway, and it sounds like you're in the on stage right between them. You know, it's like just raw in your face.
Yeah, that's a cool thing too.
Yeah, it's amazing how they got that right. Yeah, but it's very interesting. Also, I had a talk to both Bill Metoyer and Randy Burns previously on the channel, and it's so great to see those producers. So Randy is back into the business. He was out of the business for a while. He's back.
Right, yeah.
He produced some great stuff, Megadeth Peace Cells and Dark Angel Darkness Descends and Nuclear Assault and Bill Flotsam and Jetsam, Sacred Reich, Atrophy. Wow. You know, that's really amazing.
He did some Agent Steele too.
Bill Metoyer?
Yeah.
Did
he? I mean, both are legendary producers.
Yes.
Great guys.
Yeah. But also interesting to see for them, you know, because there's so many new producers out now who are doing this larger than life sound, you know, like Jens Bogren and Jacob Hansen, and you know, so it's also, I think, for those veterans, probably also a change of scenery.
Yeah, but I mean, great guys are mentioning there. Love all of them. Jens Bogren, Jacob Hansen, and Andy Sneap, another guy from that league. Very, very talented guys in what they do. Very cool.
Absolutely. No, really good stuff. You did a single, No Presents for Christmas.
Yeah, we did that.
And a little King Diamond.
Right.
Hats off to the King.
Of course. I mean, I love King. Been a big fan since forever. And yeah, we just thought about making a cover. It was actually for Christmas. And yeah, it was, I guess maybe could have started a bit as maybe as a joke of some sort, but then we thought, hey, that would be cool to do. So I talked to Wax Wagner, the singer, and yeah, he thought the idea is very cool, and he did some interesting job. Obviously, different from King himself, because
that's,
I would say, impossible to. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a
falsetto.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to even like try and copy, even if you could pull a similar thing, unless you're one of these bands that are like almost like tribute bands, except they do like original stuff, but in the style very much of a certain. Was like that
like Attic?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say any names, but yeah, Attic. And,
that's very close. Very close.
And yeah, Attic. I would say Attic is maybe it does have the as far as music, the King Diamond, or a lot of King Diamond influence and elements, but there is also a lot of Merciful Fate in there. Yes. I think
yes, for sure.
And then there's this band from the States that started out as a King Diamond tribute band, actually, called Them.
Ah, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, and that's a band that's not so much Merciful Fate, but more King Diamond in there. So, but I think I've listened to. I'm not I haven't listened to every single release by any of these bands, but I've listened to some stuff and I thought it was cool. It was good stuff.
What I really enjoyed was, okay, this is not a tribute band or anything. Was the album that Hank Sherman did with Michael Denner. Denner
Sherman.
Denner Sherman, and it had Sean Peck of Cage on vocals.
I remember when I did that record. I own it even, so I bought it. I don't remember the title of the record though.
Masters of Evil.
I think so. Yeah. They had the same
artwork, like Fatal Portrait. Yeah.
I think the guy that did the Merciful Fate artworks actually, the Melissa, the first two.
Yeah. Melissa and Don't Break the Earth. That's stuff. Amazing.
I thought that band was very cool.
Yeah, now obviously Merciful Fate are hitting the stages again, and interesting to see.
Yeah, I saw some live videos because, as I said, I'm a big King Diamond fan, a big Merciful Fate fan, love it all. And I was looking at some live videos, fan recorded. I don't think there are any pro shot yet.
I don't think so.
And the guys are very tight. They're killing it out there. And it is sad that Michael Denner is not
I wanted to say why. And he just said on Blabbermouth that he went all emotional and said like, well, Hank really bullshitted me. And so I can imagine.
I read that as well. Like right before we started our interview here, I was reading the article. Somebody sent it to me, and he's talking about a lot of interesting stuff, things in that short interview, I guess. And but it is sad. As he also said himself, Mike Weed is a great player, and I'm a big fan of Mike Weed myself. Hexenhaus is a great band that he's a big part of, one could say, and it's a late. Well, he's a part of the last Merciful Fate lineup before they split up, but it's not. And they are at the same time they are playing the '80s stuff only now. So it would have been like almost perfect if Michael Denner was there. And I'm saying almost perfect because there is no way Timmy Grabber Hansen could have been or could be part of this. Rest in peace.
Yes, of course.
But definitely. So I wish Michael Denner was there.
But you don't know the background, It's the same with Priest. I don't think they'll ever get KK back. There must be too much water. I don't know.
That's another thing I've been. You could even say maybe sad about. I don't know. I mean, it's just Priest is like I like Richie Faulkner. I think he's a great guitarist, great guy. I like the albums they released after, like, what they did, like 2 albums after KK was out of the band. Right. Great stuff, but it's different, and it obviously of course it will be different, and
but well done. Hey, I've got no qualms, so it's So let me conclude with one more question. Gear, what do you play guitar wise, amp?
Well, I've played many guitar brands through the years. I think there's like I don't think there is something I haven't used. I've used I like currently I play mostly Jackson guitars, and I've played them for a long time, for years now. And in the past, I've played I've played
Sorry, but Jackson's. Did you have the USA models?
I do have one currently. I have a Japanese, and yeah, I have quite a few actually.
Okay.
Jackson
They're awesome guitars. I also started with Jackson's, and
Right.
lately I've been more on ESP. But
Oh yeah, ESP. That's yeah. I was thinking what else did I played, because I said I played, and I did play so many brands, and then I couldn't recall any. But yeah, ESP and LTD, I played that. I think those are very cool, solid guitars. BC Rich, I played. I own, like, I'm a big fan of Super Strat guitars, so I have a few more that are not Jacksons. I own a Hammer. Those are great guitars.
Oh wow! Yeah,
yeah,
rare.
and yeah, those, yeah, very. It was I was lucky to get one.
What was that other guitar brand that you also don't see that much anymore? Is Kramer.
Yeah, yeah.
They also had some nice looking guitars, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, and both are great guitars, very comfortable necks. But yeah, I was very lucky to I actually have it here. I can show it, I guess. It's the guitar that's the closest to me here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sitting. So yeah, it's a great guitar. I believe that's from 89.
Okay.
Something like that. So great guitar. Awesome.
KK Downing only played Hammers.
Yeah, he was like yeah, I guess since over in the early 80s, they both started playing Hamer guitar.
Yeah.
And Glenn Tipton still is playing Hamer.
I think so.
He is, yeah. And,
that weird
KK
one.
Downing.
He's got that weird one that's like pointed downwards, and I think that's also.
Yeah, it's different. It's his
custom.
It's his own unique signature. I think it was based off on something, but they made some adjustments to it. I think they added the big guard, and yeah, I can't remember right now exactly, but very cool guitar. And then KK Downing had all these cool V's.
Yes. And they were not as wide. He trimmed them down a bit.
Yeah, he did. He had this one that was very little, very small guitar body. Very like narrow and very short horns and all that. But that was a cool guitar. And
really?
Yeah,
cool, totally. Oh, I could talk for days. The guitars that I also loved were what Chuck Schuldiner always played. I think that was an old BC Rich. Chuck only played that guitar. I never saw him play anything else. It was a BC Rich, but I don't know what it was called. That model.
The Chuck Schuldiner model.
Yeah.
The BC Rich stuff.
Yeah, it had a almost like vaguely like a star.
Yeah.
But rounded a bit, and yeah.
Yeah.
That was also a classic.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck did play some other guitars, I get, in the earlier days, but he's mostly seen with those BC Rich guitars.
Yes, always. Like
99% of the time. So yeah.
Totally. Wow. Yeah, you must let me know when we're going to be subjected to some mental punishment.
Right. Yeah.
It'd be awesome to have a little talk about that album. It'd be stunning. I guess Twisted Reality I can already do. People, like I said before, of some solid thrash metal, really nice, organic, warm recording. Old school with a strong speed metal touch to it. Do check it out. I will be dropping links below the video once I post it. So, Nikolay, if you have anything additional to the ones that are provided on your Metal Archives page, then do let me know and I will post them as well.
All right, I will.
It'd be great. Same as, obviously, I'll be looking for, once you have tour dates and stuff, do we also post that on the channel?
Yeah, hopefully we can hook up down there in Germany for a beer or two.
That would be awesome, of course.
Oh yeah.
If you're somewhere near Hanover, we can make that happen.
Definitely.
Awesome. It was nice chatting, Nikolay.
Likewise. Thanks for the interview.
Have a good one. I'll let you know when it's up.
Awesome. Well, have a great evening over there.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.